The farmer uses a refractometer to measure the sugar content, or bricks, directly in the field.
We should start with this green lot right here.
Yes. All right, confirming the harvest schedule now.
The freshly harvested sugarcane is rapidly moved along conveyor belts towards the milling stage, where the juice will be extracted. The freshly harvested sugarcane is loaded directly into awaiting trucks for transport to the mill.
Cut the sugarcane, loading it continuously into high-capacity transport trucks.
Once harvested, the sugarcane is quickly transported to the factory to begin the refining process.
All right, bring it forward to the sampling station now. And you, get ready to pull up to the line.
Once weighed, the sugarcane is delivered to the mill's unloading bay, where a hydraulic truck tipper begins the refining process. Here at the mill, powerful electromagnets ensure no metallic contaminants enter the refining process, automatically diverting any foreign object.
In the milling station, the cane is shredded and then crushed by heavy-duty rollers to extract the raw juice. The crushed sugarcane, now known as bagasse, is transported by conveyor belts to the next stage.
After the initial crushing, the fibrous bagasse is mixed with the raw juice. This wet pulp now travels.
The harvested sugarcane is fed into massive crushing rollers, which squeeze out the raw juice. After crushing, the raw juice, carrying fragments of bagasse, is collected here before moving on to the clarification process.
The bagasse is then moved along a conveyor system, where it is thoroughly washed with high-pressure water to extract any residual sugar. The sugarcane is fed into massive steel rollers, which crush the stalks and squeeze out the raw juice. The freshly extracted sugarcane juice flows into these large collection channels, ready for the next stage of purification and evaporation. The bagasse is fed into large diffusers and boilers, generating the high-pressure steam required for the refining process. Here we see the raw juice flowing into the holding tanks. A sample is regularly taken by the factory worker for quality control. The heated sugarcane juice, now a clear amber color, flows through the pipes towards the next stage of purification.
The raw juice is then heated and purified, before being sent to the evaporators to boil off excess water.
Maintaining a neutral pH of 7.0 is crucial as the clarified solution begins the crystallization process.
After heating, the dark brown juice flows into the clarifier. Here, the suspended solids slowly settle, leaving clearer liquid on top.
The sugarcane juice is concentrated through evaporation, turning into a thick brown syrup with visible sediment, before moving to the next stage. Here in the vacuum pans, the concentrated syrup boils under reduced pressure, allowing the sugar crystals to form. Inside the evaporator, the sugary liquid is heated, causing the water to steam away, leaving behind a thicker syrup.
Inside the tank, the concentrated syrup begins to crystallize. The dark, viscous liquid forming at the bottom is known as molasses. After clarification, the golden brown juice flows over a weir, signaling its readiness for the evaporation stage.
After crushing and clarification, the juice is heated, creating this distinctive steam as it moves towards the evaporators.
Inside the mill, the raw juice is sent to the evaporators. Here, massive amounts of steam boil the water away, concentrating the sugar solid.
The rotating separator uses centrifugal force to divide the mixture. The dense mud flows out the bottom, while
Here, the remaining sucrose is extracted through heavy compression, forming a dense mud cake before being discharged onto a conveyor.
The clarified juice enters the evaporators, beginning the process of turning into golden syrup.
Here we see the heated, clarified juice being pumped through the system, with pressure constantly monitored by these gauges. The clarified juice is pumped into these massive, multiple effect evaporators, where it is boiled under a vacuum.
the next step in the process is evaporation. The juice is boiled in large tanks.
The juice is sent to these massive evaporation tanks, where steam heats the mixture, removing water and increasing sugar concentration. Here we see the thick golden brown molasses, the result of repeated boiling and crystallization, pouring into a holding tank before the final separation.
This is the molasses runoff. We test this to ensure quality control at every stage.
The thick, golden brown molasses is a byproduct of the crystallization process, flowing here into large holding tanks. This turbulent mixing ensures maximum yield as the molasses continues through the crystallization process.
As the water evaporates in these large vacuum pans, the thick syrup begins to form sugar crystals.
As the supersaturated syrup is gently agitated, the sugar crystals rapidly increase in size and
Once the syrup reaches saturation, it is transferred to the vacuum pans, where the sugar will begin to crystallize under the careful watch of the operator.
The thick massacute is poured into the centrifuge. As it spins at high speed, the centrifugal force separates the dark molasses.
The centrifuge spins the massacute, separating the sugar crystals from the dark, heavy molasses.
After initial crystallization, the brown sugar is fed into large-scale centrifuges and dryers to remove moisture and impurities. The centrifuge rapidly spins the molasses, separating the sugar crystals through centrifugal force.
This is the affination stage. Warm water and steam are used to wash the raw sugar crystals, preparing them for the next phase of purification. The crystallized sugar is then moved to large rotating drums, where it is dried with hot air before being discharged onto a conveyor belt.
After the sugar crystals are separated, the remaining thick, dark liquid, known as molasses, is pumped into large holding tanks for storage.
This thick, dark substance is molasses, a byproduct of the sugar crystallization process.
This thick, dark substance is molasses, the byproduct remaining after the sugar crystals are removed.
The next step is crystallization, where the mixture is spun in large centrifuges to separate the raw sugar from the dark molasses.
The centrifuges separate the remaining sugar from the heavy, dark molasses, which flows into these tanks for collection.
Here, the raw brown sugar is fed into massive mixing tanks. Powerful paddles churn the
Finally, the centrifuging process separates the sugar crystals from the thick, dark molasses seen flowing here.
Here we see the final product, pure white sugar, being efficiently transported via conveyor deep within the mill.
After the crystallization process, the golden brown sugar is transported via conveyor belt for further refining.
After crystallization, the raw sugar is washed and then moved by high-speed conveyor belts to the centrifuges for final processing.
The final stage of the process sees the pure white sugar cascading into the storage facility, forming these enormous conical piles.
The refined sugar is then dried and moved into large silos. From there, it flows onto conveyor belts.
The refined white sugar is rapidly poured into large bags, which are then precisely sealed by automated machinery.
Once filled, the bags are rapidly transported along the conveyor belt to the automated sewing machine, where they are securely sealed for transport. Once crystallized, the sugar is mechanically bagged and stamped with a unique lot number and date before being moved to the warehouse.
The refined sugar is then transported to the state-of-the-art warehouse, where forklifts efficiently stack the pallets high for storage and distribution.
So that leaves us with 145 tons from the last batch.
Confirmed. Inventory updated successfully.
Please sign here for the shipment.
Okay, and here is your copy for the records.